Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at a couple of solutions for the narrow field of view of the DJI O4. We've got the HappyModel O4 FOV extender, as well as the FlyWoo O4 wide camera set. FlyWoo also has their own, say, extender, and I don't have footage of that included in this video, but we've already explored that when we took a look at the Firefly 18. That was a 1S quad from a month or so ago. And I, for one, am glad the companies are taking this on. For me, flying the O4 is a much less freeing, enjoyable experience than just flying the O4 Pro or the other video systems that have a nice wide field of view. Especially when it comes to our micros and flying indoor, I find it even more challenging. It requires a lot more focus and concentration. And I don't enjoy my flights nearly as much. And so I am very glad that we have two companies that are taking this on, and we'll probably see more in the future. The HappyModel O4 FOV extender weighs 3.13 grams, and that slides right natively onto an O4, and it has a little latching mechanism in the back. The materials seem to be some sort of nylon print, but they are looking at creating a molded version of this. It does also come with a canopy that fits the O4 quite nicely. The actual screw slots slide right into the side, so it kind of locks into place. And that only comes in at just a touch over a gram. The FlyWoo counter to the HappyModel weighs 3.69 grams, as you can see there on the scale, and it is made of a 3D print. The FlyWoo wide-angle camera, as well as the back, weighs 6.36 grams. The camera itself just weighs 4.81 grams, and the back alone weighs 1.74 grams. We've got a few pictures that I took, and I set these up inside so I could put some tape on the island, and I could give us more items around to look at as far as being able to look at compare the field of view, color, saturation, things like that. These are all without the ND filter, and as we scroll through them, we will be looking at some flight footage as well. Just shortly after that, we've got the FOV extender from HappyModel, we've got the wide-angle camera from FlyWoo, and we've got the native O4. I want to include that because we want to see how much we are improving that. The biggest drawback is for the FlyWoo camera. It's not an official DJI camera, so it is going to have that red warning on screen about the camera calibration error, which is unfortunate. The DJI VTX just doesn't register that. Apparently, they don't want you using off-brand cameras, so it throws that error. Normally, when it throws that error and you're using an official DJI camera, it usually means your cable is damaged or the connectors aren't fully seated, or the camera itself is damaged. That error can tell you something about your native DJI setup, but in this case, it's just going to be a warning that we have to put up with. We are going to look at a couple segments of flight footage here. Obviously, we have the Firefly 18, a 1S little quad that I had on the site a little while ago. This was one of the better days that I got as far as conditions go. It's wintertime. But the wind is relatively high, still above 10 miles an hour, 10 to 12 miles an hour on the winds, and the temperature was 39 degrees at this point in time. But the thing that I was looking for was to get some sun. I thought that was important because I do think that the O4 Lite, as I tend to say, does have a tendency to really kind of show the jello more than the O4 Pro. So I wanted to make sure I had some good light, so when we're looking at these FOV extenders or FOV solutions to the O4 Lite, that we get to see as far as any jello or vibrations that might be making it into the image. You get to see that as well. But we're only going to take a look at a minute or so of these, and you can see the camera calibration error right there on screen. You may find that distracting. You may not. Obviously, in my case, it's covering up a little bit of the OSD. You can still see the air mode behind it, but it is something that's on screen, and this is your DVR view. I'm going to stick with the DVR view because that shows the entire picture. Let's move forward, take a look at the HappyModel solution, the O4 FOV extender, as they call this. It's a similar solution to what FlyWoo had released previously, but I wanted to take a look and kind of compare these two. We've got Mr. Squirrel kind of making his way around the yard. Yeah, this is the new Mobile 8 O4. I have been flying it around. Quite honestly, I got back to HappyModel and I was like, yeah, the tune needs some work. We've got some yaw washout on this, so there's some more flying to be done on this yet. Unfortunately, it kind of spoiled one of the nicest days that I had when I was doing the faster, more aggressive flying with the Mobula 804, this new quad that HappyModel is putting out. So they did provide a new PID tune already. I did test it to some degree, but it was terrible windy out, so I don't have a good feel for that yet. More to come on that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see that new Mobula 804 that's coming out. That's a 2-incher DJI-based quad. Let's move into the side-by-side comparison. These are the exact two flight footages that I already showed you that were full screen. Now we're just putting them side by side. I know the flight path is not exactly the same. And in the moment that I was flying these, I wasn't thinking about a side-by-side comparison. I was actually just going out and experiencing it. But I thought it could be useful to share this in a side-by-side view. If you need more time looking at this view or looking at the color, the saturation, I run defaults on the cameras. I don't change the colors of saturation, the ISO, whatever that comes with out of the box, that's the camera setting. The only setting I may ever change when it comes to this DJI setup is the maybe any sort of channels that need to be running. Also, I have to turn off the low power so I can start recording when it's still unarmed sitting on the table. And I might switch it between 16:9 and 4:3, but my preference is to fly at 16:9. 4:3, I'm just, for whatever reason, even though when I fly HD0 and I fly analog, I really like 4:3. I'm used to it. I'm quite familiar with it. When it comes to DJI, it throws me off a little bit. I think the picture is just too small in 4:3 in the goggles 3 for me. There's something. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's something else. I just don't quite have the comfort level. Nope, I fly 16:9. That's a pretty good sample of the flight footage. I think we can head back to the desk and look at one final thing, which is the price. The FlyWoo O4 wide camera set you can see there on screen is $34.99. FlyWoo does sell direct. You can see on my tabs that I've got the only listing I can find for the HappyModel FOV extender. We'll look at that in just a minute, but I wanted to highlight the fact that FlyWoo also is selling this unit already with an O4. So that is an option that you can take a look at if you don't want to do buy separately, or maybe you're buying an O4 and you're going to be putting it into a quad and you want to have the replaced camera that we've already shown in the video. That is available for $139. But I wanted to look at the price point down here, right here, the Lite version, which is not necessarily video included, but is an option. It's $29.99. Whereas what I see the counter as the HappyModel FOV extender is $23 flat, and that does come with a canopy. It also comes with this mount, and it does come with 2 ND filters as well as a clear filter as well, just a camera or a lens protector that you put on. Probably keep debris out of there when you're not actually needing an ND filter. So we have several options to fix DJI's O4 Lite. Hopefully, the next time we see a development from DJI, they will just do this on their own. That shrinking that field of view, that was a miss. I appreciate the fact that they made a version of the DJI video system that's lighter, specifically because I like micros, and it extends it to more people and having that lighter version. But that field of view, it's a little bit hard for me to overcome, but I've had to do it several times in several reviews. These are perfectly viable solutions, not native, but they're solutions to fix a problem if you are suffering from that level of comfort that you're looking for when flying the DJI O4 Lite. Is it right for every instance? It's going to be up to you and what you're using these for. Sometimes you might have to buy a different canopy or print a different canopy. There are other solutions out there that I've seen in YouTube tutorials and videos of replacing the lens. Matter of fact, FlyWoo has a lens you can actually replace. I think that's a little bit of a more tedious and careful sort of operation because you're removing the camera lens from the native one. You apply too much heat or don't do that right, and you're out of camera and you're starting over. So I prefer to have the solutions that we have here on the table, being able to slide it right over the native O4 camera and you just have that wide 155 field of view, or replacing the camera by just snapping it on with the MIPI cable. I think those are the solutions that I would be most likely to use, and I'm sure I'll be using them in some special build as soon as it warms up. If you have any questions about the HappyModel FOV extender or the FlyWoo camera set or the FlyWoo wide-angle lens slide-on adapter, actually they don't really have a specific name other than what I showed on the screen for that one, the 3D printed one. If you have a question about any of those products, please let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate your time. And thanks for watching.